Hi, we are going to look at sentences today and some ways that we make sentences and have variety in our sentences. So there are many different types of sentences: simple, compound, complex, and compound complex. We're going to focus today on simple and compound sentences. So a simple sentence is one independent clause. An independent clause essentially means a simple sentence. It's a clause or a sentence that can stand alone. It needs to have at least a subject and a verb. Remember, the subject of a sentence is a noun. So over here we have some examples. He plays. He, that's our subject. It's also a noun because it's a person. Plays, that's our verb. We, okay, that's the subject, also a noun because it's people. Study, that's the verb, that's what we do. Simple sentences can also include objects, adjectives, and adverbs. So we have here, the young man plays basketball daily in the park. Our subject is the young man. All of that together is our subject. That's our person. The verb, the action he does, is play. He plays. What does he play? Basketball. So that is our object. Daily, that's an adverb, right? It's how he plays basketball. In the park, that's also an adverb describing where. Our next sentence, we usually study quietly on weekends. So we, that's our subject. Study is our verb. Usually is an adverb. Quietly is an adverb. And on weekends is an adverb. So these are examples of simple sentences. They are complete thoughts, and they can stand alone. They make their own sentence. Now, a compound sentence is when you combine two simple sentences. You combine two independent clauses. So there are three ways to do this: with a fanboy, with a semicolon, or with an em dash. So first with fanboys. I'm sorry, this should have an S on it with fanboys. Over here, for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Those are our fanboys. So if you use a fanboys, what you do is you have your first sentence, you have a comma, you use the fanboys that is appropriate, and then you have your second sentence. So for example, I moved to San Diego in the summer of 2014. Yet, I didn't know a single person here. In this example, the word yet means like however or but. Notice that I moved, okay, so I have a subject and verb in this sentence, to San Diego. Then I separate it with this comma, my fanboys, and then my second sentence also has a subject, I, and a verb, didn't know. Another example, it took me an hour to find the grocery store, comma, for I got lost on my way. For, as a fanboys, means because. So it took me an hour to find the grocery store, comma, for I got lost on my way. And this is a true story. My first day in San Diego, it took me an hour because I got lost. Another way that you can combine two simple sentences is with a semicolon. Semicolon looks like this. It's like a dot and a comma. I like to use a semicolon when the sentences are very closely related. I don't want to use a fanboys because they're just so similar. And I don't want to use a full period because I want the reader to see that these ideas go together. So for example, it was extremely hot when I arrived, semicolon. I didn't want to move the boxes inside. So the fact that it was extremely hot, that caused me not to want to move the boxes inside. That's why I wanted to use a semicolon there, because those sentences are very closely related. In the next sentence, I had never been to San Diego before, semicolon. I was terrified to move there. Again, these are closely related. I was terrified because I had never been before. The last way that you can make a compound sentence is with an em dash. An em dash is this long line here. It looks kind of like a hyphen. This also shows that the two sentences are closely related. People want to choose the em dash when they really want to emphasize the second sentence. They really want to draw your reader's attention to that second sentence. So, in the first example, my husband turned the key into our new apartment, em dash. We nervously waited to see if it was decent. So, in this sentence, I really want to draw the reader's attention to this second part. I want them to also feel how nervous we were because we didn't know if the apartment would be nice or not. Second example, we waited in line at the DMV. This is always a dreadful experience. So again, these two sentences are closely related, and I want to draw the reader's attention to this second spot and really draw their attention to the idea that this is dreadful. If you have been to the DMV, you probably know the feeling. So to review, these three ways show how to combine two independent clauses. Okay, so going back to the three ways, we have fanboys here, we have with a semicolon, and we have with an em dash. These three ways are similar. They're very similar, but the emphasis is just a little bit different. So I encourage you as you're reading to notice when writers are using fanboys, when they use semicolons, and when they use em dashes. Pay attention to how other people use these, and you can start to see what you like, what you don't like, or what you want to use. And my final point is use variety in your writing. This helps make it more interesting. If you use a lot of semicolons, that can get boring for your reader. If you're always using fanboys, that can get boring for your reader. Try to use a variety. Try out some new structures and see what works well.